YouTube. This is Mickey D, and we have well, thank you, episode 49 of Stationeers. Hopefully, we should get our well, we're going to get our gas generator hooked up. That's what we're going to do now. And fortunately, yeah, radiators are still broken. I kind of, in the hopes of that they had put out another update, restarted the client between this episode and the last one, which has only been a few minutes. So, but yeah, we need to make some heavy cable first. And why did the stream just cut out? Oh, okay, never mind. It's just, yeah, it's the delay. All right, heavy cables. So we'll run some pipe down, get the, and I think, well, we got to place it first because I haven't even looked at the machine. But I'm pretty sure we need, we can either run, I think we can run a fuel mix in, and then we got to run oxygen in. So we've already got a mixed line, and we'll let that run for a few minutes and hopefully come back with not a couple hundred of those. But so we've already got a fuel mix right here. So we're going to tie off of this. We'll tee this, bring this down, which is going to be a pain because the room below only extends to about here. So I think we're going to run it down through the floor is the best way to do that. But we can tie off the mixture here. Alternately, we do have the, that might actually be a better idea. We do have the furnace, which has a fuel mix on it as well. So maybe we'll pull off of that, and it's kind of about the same thing either way. The room kind of starts right here, but the gas generator's on this side, so instead of having to run all the way down, that's going to be a lot shorter run. Let's see how many. We shouldn't need too many of these. We'll try that. That might be enough. So we're going to start tearing into stuff. And we'll go ahead and load up on pipes because we're going to need those. We're going to need more than that. So let's go make some more pipes as well. And yeah, we're not. Pipe. And I think in conjunction with doing all this, we'll get the logic set up for controlling this, since computers, we got to finally tear those out. So we can get logic set up for that one. We need 1, 2, 3, I think 3. We need one for the fuel mix here. We need one for the fuel mix over there, and one for the oxygen nitrogen mix. So and they'll basically be the same circuit. And I think what we'll do is we'll set it up. I'll set up one, and then I'll probably do the other two off camera because it's basically the exact same thing. It's just, you know, basically the ranges are the only thing different. So yeah, we can bring this down, and we'll still have to do a little bit of digging, I believe. I don't think we've got, oh, we might have enough room. Yeah, so we can tie off of this. And hopefully that electrical line is not going to be a pain. And we're probably going to have a mix of steel and iron. Most of these are probably iron. And we'll leave these over here since they go over here. All right, so we should, let's go grab our pipes for however many are made up, which hopefully we should have quite a few. And let's see, probably, let me see, we're gonna need to run an oxygen line down, which the best place, that's gonna be, actually we can run, the oxygen line comes over to the furnace as well for the fuel mix. Actually, if we do a fuel mix, do we have to run an oxygen line? Yeah, we're going to get the machine placed so we can see exactly what we're needing to run to it. I know the portable one needs a fuel canister and a battery, and it will run. So I'm wondering if we can just hook a fuel line up to it and then electricity. So we might not need to run an oxygen. And we'll just go down here and place it first so we know what we're looking at. Oh, I should bring it down with me. I brought everything else but the generator. All right. And it'll be nice that now that we actually have, I think we have every single machine now placed and at least hooked up. So now we're at the point where we can, you know, start doing as much automation and tweaking to the systems as possible. Except for the only room we don't have is a room for the chickens. And we'll need a transformer. Okay. And real quick and completely side, just to get this out of here, we're going to go ahead and place that right there. So that way it's at least placed. Now we need a little end table or something, and we can take the shortcut. And watch, one of these times I'll do that and it'll tear my suit. All right, so transformer we don't need yet. We need the generator. All right, so let's go ahead and just place it. All right, before we place it, let's pull up the floor so we can actually see all the vents, or see all the ports on it. And get all this kind of cleaned up. Because my thought is it's going to replace the coal. I don't want to burn the coal. You know, we can use that as a crafting material. So, input. Oh, and yeah, we're going to have an exhaust line on this. Yep. So basically we're running a 4-cycle engine to power our base, which I find hilarious. Power data, so we'll tie that at pressure. Okay. So I guess we're just running fuel in because we only have one input. So I do kind of like that model too. I'm hoping eventually we'll have more colors besides, you know, kind of like gray and white for everything. Though, you know, obviously we can paint it, but, you know, they could do a little bit more. But I imagine at some point things will hopefully get you know, models will get an overhaul. All right. So I kind of want to put it where this is. And we'll try that and see how well that will work. And then we're actually maybe we won't, because I guess the generator puts out more than the heavy cable at times. It does like the bursts, like the coal generator does, but it will put out more than the heavy cable can handle. So we're going to need to tie it into a transformer before it dumps into the input. So we'll probably throw the transformer here is what I'm thinking. And maybe we'll put this over here. And if we set it back, we can run, actually, we'll turn it this way. And then we can run the pipes up and over. I think that'll work. And we're going to go ahead and pull this out. Okay. And toss it. And I think I'll leave it. I'm going to set it like over here or something. And it can still tie into our inputs. That way, if we need to run it for some reason, we can. But I'm hoping basically we never use the thing again. Okay, so this is our input. Oh, actually, power out, power in. So that would tie right up with our inputs. So we will turn the thing on and we will set it to what? Why did that kick off the system? It might be because it might have tried to pull power through there. We obviously had a line below somewhere, though. And those aren't actually connected, though. Well, okay, first of all, let's clean this up, because this should not be tied in. And then we'll just see what we just broke. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So basically it was drawing all the power and trying to output it. So it was just looping. Or basically we just made a short. And we're just going to tie this in straight for now. Obviously, we're going to have to do some rearranging. But I just want to get this set. And I believe our max is it 60? 50. Okay. Yeah, so that's fine. And then probably what we'll do is we'll just swing this around, maybe even behind, come up. We do want the generator tie in this line, but the problem is obviously it's too close right here. So we will need it, because it still needs to tie into this circuit. And actually, I don't even need to do that. We can tie it in the other way. And one of these ways, there we go. All right, because we can actually just run this down off of, like, say, the data here. And try not to cross these lines. I think we're still going to have to go through the floor at some point. Kind of like how we had to do on the other side already. Because we're definitely going to want this to tie into this circuit. And then what we'll do is we'll change this, which it still has to read this. But we'll need to, this one. So this one needs to be set up to tie into the generator now, which we can go ahead and do. So output gas fuel generator. There we go. And on. So now if our power drops too low, and I'm going to increase the limit. We'll do if the base gets down to 0.4, since we've been dropping down about, especially with the ACs, or radiators being broken, making the AC run like crazy for the greenhouse. It's been dropping our power down lower than normal. but we don't usually, unless we've got a lot of stuff running, drop down that low. All right, so we'll get this hooked up, and then we can tie everything back in. Now, oh, autosave. Ah, thank you. And what we're going to do is, so we know we need a heavy cable running over here. So we'll get this. Hey, seawall. All right. So that'll tie up. So this is the line we've got to cross over because we still need this to tie in over there. And then we can just run, it should just be a matter of running the, oh, doing pretty good. I haven't caught anything on fire or anything lately. No massive explosions. And there we go. Okay, and toss that. All right, so this one we will. Yeah, I don't know if it's on the main line yet, but it's on the beta branch. It's extremely powerful, and one of the benefits is obviously we can just pump gas into it, and gas being the fuel mixture like you would use in the torches. Oh, come on. Line up. I'm still really wishing for a crouch option. Okay, let's go from the other side. Okay, should be right there. Nope, now I'm completely off. All right, let's yeah, it's a it's a gas generator. So basically it's like a propane backup generator, or a propane generator. And let's click that. We'll just use this. We only got a little bit to dig. What was that line running up? Oh, maybe I had that left over. Unless did I actually... I may have actually broken that line. Can you break the lines with the wire? No, it doesn't look like it. No. Huh. Okay. Well, we should still have a line placed over here. I still want to crouch. Yeah, I'll have to see where that line is, or what that line comes off of. I know we had to run one down here before. Okay, and a corner. Oh, I think we ended up placing that back down in there. We're just gonna, we'll leave it. Sometime we'll do some big expansion on the base and find it. And there we go. We'll change this. And max power reader. Why is that not reading? I'll have to check that one. So what do we got going on with that line down below there? I wonder if I accidentally placed it when I was trying to do the other one. Because we do have that line. It's been quite a few episodes since we did that, so. Oh, was that for the gas generator? No, because that's the output side. Maybe that was something for the generator, the gas generator. Yeah, I don't know why because that's on the output side, so that wouldn't, it should have not been tying in over there. Well, it wasn't tied in, but I think maybe I started to run it and then decided that wasn't going to work, and since it was buried, didn't pull it out. I think that seems, if I'm remembering correctly, that's, I think, the reason I left it down there. But now that we have it exposed, might as well pull it out. And we'll just leave that other one that's buried back in there. And we gotta find out why the max reader is not reading. Might be a thing with it being disconnected and reconnected. Sometimes you gotta reset them. And here we go. All right, let's get this button back up. Without, hopefully, burning any wires. Okay. No, I didn't change that one. Yeah, no, it comes in. So input is stationary battery. Oh. That's what that line was for. Okay, because it came through, and this was probably a three-way corner that was coming up. Yeah, because the stationary batteries have to be tied into this as well, so that it can read the battery. That's why we had to run that line down below there, because that's coming off the data, not. Yeah, because it has to come off of that side, and it's not. Okay, so, which is fine because, yeah, maybe it was this. This was a three-way right here. When it wrapped around, it came down that way. It wasn't a corner. That's why I try to read those when I pull them off to make sure. Okay, that makes sense. So we need to change that, and we need to change that. Easy enough to fix. Good thing I took the time to look at that before I got everything all completely buttoned up and put back together. And okay, yeah, because this is the data side, because that's why it's a light line. It's not the power side. And how are we going to want to pull that over? So I think what we'll do is we could do a three-way corner there. That'll work. And then we'll just put a regular corner right there. There we go. All right. That's more like it. And now we can get this buttoned up, hopefully again without burning any wires. Okay, so that is all working. Basically, all we need to do is run the piping to it. Um, Now the question is I don't know if there is um, a max pressure that this can handle. So we will have to look into that. I also don't know how much it input and output. Okay. So the input. Let's start from up here. And so the input, we're coming off of this line. Pretty much right here. And that'll be good because it's after our pressure regulator, our mixer, so it'll be able to maintain the pressure in the line, but it's before the furnace, so the systems won't interfere with each other. And we'll just come straight down. And we'll probably just run right, yeah, I don't want to try to run the pipe underneath the there we go. All right, pump down and go ahead and grab me that pipe. And luckily we have the input, that tank purge system is right there, so we can tie into that because that ties into the filtration line. And then that will run everything through the right from the start of the system. It'll run it through all the ACs to cool it, because I imagine it's going to be it probably won't be heated to the extent that the furnace is, but since it is burning it, I imagine it's going to be some heat generation there as well. And that's pretty nice. I was thinking that we were going to have to do some more with the logic circuit, but I guess not. Okay, we'll do a corner. One of these ways is the way we want to go. There we go. Oh, come on. And I think we can go ahead and do the corner right there. And that way, some point we ever put ceilings on, it'll all be hidden. And then, yeah, we'll get the, after we get this done, we'll get the logic circuit set up so it will actually, oh, come on, just last just a little bit longer. I can get this all ran. Almost. Oh, come on. There we go. Very nice. And I think we're going to need, yeah, I think we're going to need some more pipe. I don't think we're going to have, might need one more stack. There we go. And, but I'm really hoping they're going to have the radiators fixed tomorrow. Since obviously they are back in, there, and they did work on, their different time zone, so they're already, put out a patch today for the beta branch, and they did do some work on the atmospherics. It just did not fix the radiators. So I'm hoping, might not see it tonight, but hopefully tomorrow, well, I should say tomorrow my time, after the. Oh, yeah, we're definitely not going to want to try to run up. Oh, actually, we could. So we got to connect into, and as soon as we get past the autosave here. So we need to connect in right there. So my thought is run down behind this and over this way. Alternately, we can run up across the ceiling and then over and up. If we run up over, I guess it's the same amount either way. I guess we'll run up. That way we don't have to dig. There we go. Yeah. Either way. Same distance either way. All right. Is that the... oh, a little bit more. And I might... This might give me just enough height. Yeah, the one drawback of having a higher ceilings. All right. I gotta check. Has anybody who's watching this stream done the chickens yet? 'Cause if I remember correct, if I remember correctly, they need a slightly different atmosphere than the base, though I think they will live in the base. And then again, I don't really want them running around, like the base. I guess my point being is I'm going to need to make add another room on for them. Obviously, we can't grow them in the greenhouse. I don't think they're going to like 100% CO2 environment. So, and I will probably need to figure out where we're going to put that. We've unfortunately used all of our hallway. I might push out over here or something. We don't want to push out that way because the greenhouse. We don't want to block the sun. And I could change this. Maybe I'll move the windows over there, and we'll put a doorway into here to go out. And then that way, we have eggs or whatever, we can bring them in here since this is all the food processing. That, or we could just tie them in off of this airlock. Oh, no, we can't because we put the room on the other side. Yeah, if I remember correctly, this comes all the way up to the greenhouse. So, yeah, I think maybe we'll have to do something like that. Or we could put them down below. No, I think I want to leave them near the food room. All right, so we'll build some pipe. And while that builds that, we can tear open that wall because we're going to need to get in there. Let's put that pipes away. And we might... Okay. We're going to tear this open. And grinder. And, from what I was reading, I guess the cryo chamber is really, it looks like it's meant for, it's not a respawn like I was thinking. It's basically to grow organs for, I guess, if we get injured. So if we injure our lungs, we can grow new lungs, that sort of thing. And I'm guessing the sleeper is basically meant more for servers, it looks like. And I'm assuming for respawn. Plus it gives you kind of like a safe spot. So this is the line we need to tie into right here. This ties back into our filtration system, and it will pull off from this pressure regulator to dump out the line. Which, do we? Yes, I keep that because that's just a safeguard in case the furnace is running or something and it pressurizes the line before the volume pump can dump it. That way, if we put a tank in here, it doesn't equalize the pressure. Before we had it set up the other way, then that was the volume pump was kind of well, it was needed to work, but we don't, or the back pressure, yeah, the back pressure regulator was needed to drain that, but the volume pump would actually drain it now. But it is kind of it because I accidentally. Really, we ran out of iron, didn't we? Yes. Which we'll dump the iron out of there. Throw the copper back in. And we can throw the silicone. Oh, that's steel. Shoot. Yeah, they always come out in the same order, by the way. I've noticed that. Okay. And build pipe. That sucks. I was kind of hoping that would, have all that built. But we don't need too much of it. Oh, we should have moved the steel over here while it was running because we need to make some radiators. Not that they're actually doing anything right now, but we do need some. And I'm hoping 20 should, just a full stack should be enough. Okay. So what we're going to do is turn this. Oh no, we're running across the ceiling, so we should be fine. I was gonna say, I was thinking where we're going to hit that circuitry down there. Yeah, so I guess the until we get more content added, I guess a lot of the episodes from now on are basically going to be focusing on. Oh, I didn't fill the jetpack. Shoot. Focusing on doing circuits. And basically automation. I think we're finally at that point where that's mostly what we have to work on now. And then whatever new content is added. There we go. And I should up the pressure on those at some point, which while I'm thinking about it, we can do it right now. Since I believe we can go to 10 on these. There we go. And all right. So we'll get these hooked up. And I'm still waiting for a hover for the jetpack. All right, I think, ooh, hopefully we're not going to hit that that corner. Oh, yeah, that is joined up. Okay. I thought I missed the pipe there for a second. Find out here in a second, though. I think we are. Yep. Of course. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, the line's over there. Okay. I was thinking that was the intake line. So we can just bend that. Good. We don't have to move that line. We just need a corner going the other way. nice. Why is that not? Oh, come on. Oh, that's why it's spinning around the other way. Oh, this is going to be one of those times where it just does. There we go. That's what we want. All right. There's our exhaust line hooked up. Very nice. Back pressure regulator will dump that out. And we should be good to go. We'll just have to make sure we don't know how much exhaust it puts out. So we want to make sure it doesn't overload it. And actually, let's button all this up before we... Since we know we don't need to mess with that anymore. Actually, we shouldn't need the piping at all. And we can pull this out too. We don't need that there. And we'll top that off. And we should not need that. Iron sheets. All right, let's get this all closed up. Is this iron down here? It's not. Okay, that's the steel. We should still have another iron frame down here. Oh, okay. No, there we don't have any in the inventory. That's why. There we go. And we do gotta hook up the suit as well. The suit station. Not sure if that's exactly where I want it. I think that'll work. Oh. Okay, where are we? I think all the rest of the iron sheets and stuff are downstairs. And I just walked right by it. You think I would... I built the base. You think I know which way I need to go. Yeah, we can go ahead and close this up. That's iron. Okay. This is where it gets to be a pain. Because we've got to iron that. We've got to weld that iron before we can put the steel on. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to reach it. Go. Yeah, definitely next time. If once I get steel, I'm just swapping everything to steel. But we've got too much of the floor built as iron now to do that. Okay, we'll close that up, and then we'll pull off this one, didn't we? Yep. So button back up. 4 grates. And we want to turn this the other way. All right, and the rest of our sheets must be... Oh, actually, these probably be them right there. Yes. Yeah, so we've got to put a logic circuit over here to control this. And we'll pull that computer out. So this doesn't overpressurize and blow. But we'll go ahead and, we're at 0 pressure. Okay, so we'll go ahead and kick it on. Let that pressurize. We'll do a test run on the generator. And which hopefully we can do without disconnecting the circuit. And I'll let it get up. Let's say we'll put like about 3 kPa in there. 3244. I want to see how much it runs. Why is our mixture off so much? And we got an autosave. We're at 2278. 2377. All right. Let's let that. It'll still burn, but I'll have to check. I don't know if I changed that on purpose or if I accidentally hit it. I'm trying to remember which ratio gave you the cleaner burn. All right, why are we seeing 0 pressure? Is it not pressurized until we turn it on? Oh, okay. Oh. Does it only run at 101 kPa? Oh, that's kind of neat. Well, it hasn't exploded, so it must be fine. It must use 101 kPa. But it doesn't look like it's, you know, it hasn't exploded, so that's good. So we're output, so batteries should be charging. Yep. And then, because it looks like the sun is down, because we're not getting the completely lit up. I wonder if they changed it, because supposedly it was like way overpowered. Well, I guess it is actually still putting out a decent amount of power. But I do want to shut it off for a minute. We'll go grab the reader. Be interesting to see what it sounds like, since we don't have any atmosphere down there. It's a little bit hard to tell right now. But we should be able to repressurize the base here relatively soon. We could honestly probably do it right now. Just kind of hesitant to do it while other radiators are broken. And there we go. Make sure we have a charge. Speaking of charges, it looks like I need to charge my suit as well. So it'll hold 50, which is what we're maxed out on. And you can't obviously read right off of it. It's actually, so it'll actually put up to 283.6 kilowatts. So it looks like it does, it does, and I think we're pretty much full. Now you think it would still be putting out more than that? Huh, it's weird that it's putting out so low. Huh. So let me, while we're down here, let's check our exhaust lines and whatnot. Oh, we may have run 3.2, 3.5. Okay, we might need to change that, because obviously we're putting a lot of pressure into it. Those regulators run, and obviously it puts out some heat. And we're not getting quite a complete clean burn, so I think we do want to be more close to the 70-30. Or no, I think we are at where it's, yeah, so. Oh, and we're getting some heat down here too. So that thing does put out some heat. So I think we want to be closer to the, yeah, I think we want to be, yeah, so that does, okay, so good thing we got cooling down. Oh, actually, we don't have cooling down here. We never did add cooling to this room because we figured we wasn't really going to need it. I'm wondering if it's putting out less because it's only supposed to have so much of a back pressure. Oh, it could also be because the other batteries are full. It says it's only needing 5 point. Oh, required 22. Yeah, it was putting out higher. Yeah, well, we'll do some messing around with that and see. Definitely charges up pretty quick though. Yeah, we might have to change where that ties in at. Not where the oh, there they are. We'll tie it in after the back pressure regulator because that will tie it into the volume pump, which will pull in a lot faster than what the back pressure regulator can do. And we only have to move that a very short distance to do that. That's actually all within that same cube. Because right now I can see that if we run that for an extended amount of time, you know, that's how slow the back pressure regulators run. So, and that's a really quick and easy tweak that we can do right away. So why do we have 2 steel sheets left? What did we not close up? I'm assuming there's a cube somewhere that we did not, or a frame somewhere that we did not close. Might be down underneath. It's going to be one of those ones in the oddball spots in the walls. And then my thought is, we'll do this real quick as well. Oh, actually, okay, that's not going to be real quick. We got to get it on the other side to hook up the generator. So we'd have to cross underneath. Yeah. Well, it's doable. So we don't need that up. We don't need that up. We'll leave those up. So my thought is we'll just throw this down here. We're going to run it. If we run it, we're going to run it manually. So there's our input. And I really don't like how this machine is set up either. I guess we can do it kind of that way. Yeah, we'll do something like, oh, it's not really where I wanted to run that line. Yeah, I'm not liking that. So can we turn it this way? Yeah, that'll work because the switch is right there. And that'll have us walk up to the input side. If we bend, come down. Let's put it back one more. I don't want to be on the seam of the blocks because then it gets kind of a pain to run that. So that's good. The switch is right there. We can reach it if we need to run it. And like I said, this is going to be our, so this is our backup power. That's our emergency backup power. We're only going to run that manually, and we'll just leave a stack of coal in there. If we need to use it, we can kick it on. I don't foresee us ever really needing it, but you know, we've already got the machine, so better safe than sorry. Because I would like to test. Did that just go through the wall? I think that just went through the wall. Right there. Look, it bounced between the sheets. All right, there we go. I'm pretty sure I've got a few other things stuck in between the walls as well. I could have swore I had I'm pretty sure that there's a whole stack of steel sheets that I'm missing. Wow, yeah, it got quite warm down there. Did we mess up on that? That is reading 0 pressure, so we should have 0 pressure on this line now. I have a feeling that, yeah, it's not. I don't think that's running through. I think I messed up on the line, so it might not be putting out that fast. This is still a bit. Oh no. Oh, wait a minute. That's the world. Okay. So if this is reading 3.67. Oh, never mind. Yeah. No, that's. We'll go in there in a minute. This does not read the line pressure. This reads off the data port on the tank. So if there's a, it's only going to read if there's a tank in there that has pressure on it. And as you can see, it's, yeah, that back pressure, because usually that line's empty, so it immediately dumps into the line, and then the back pressure regulator pulls it all through. And what did we come up here for? Pick, probably, and oh, there was something else. I know it. Oh, suit battery. And one of these days I should make the nuclear batteries. And what I might do too at the same time is just change everything out from a small battery. Or we could just make everything nuclear battery. We do have the... okay, I want to do that, but I really don't want to run the furnace too much until they get the radiators fixed. So we might hold off on that a little bit. All right. We need heavy cable. All right. Let's get this. Swap that out. And then we just got to do that. Change that line. Which we have 13 pipes. That should be plenty. Oh, I don't know if that's gonna be. Let's go ahead and make a couple more pieces of cable. Might be enough, but I don't want to be down there and have 2 pieces short. Because we're gonna have to do a funky bend around sort of. We'll have to go down, over, up, and then tie in. So we'll make about 15, I think. Try that. And yeah, because I don't think of anything else we're really going to need heavy cable for anytime soon. Unless we end up having to do... No, I was going to say maybe the other circuit, but that's still only a 5, so we should be all right there. All right, so we'll bend this down. And I'm probably really going to be wishing I had a crouch right now. Oh, maybe not. Maybe this might go pretty easy. There we go. Oh, no. And autosave. We're going to hit that line. We're going to come down even lower. Well, that's on the output side. So that's not... Oh, yeah, that's the output side. It runs down and then runs over because we had to avoid the... Oh, no, wait a minute. Output side should run over here. Oh, that runs to the ACs. That's right. So the ACs aren't on the circuit. They're on... the ACs are solely pulling directly off the battery. Just because we've running so much, they've obviously going to overload the line. Annoying. Okay. Now we're going to have to drop that line down even lower, which we can just drop it here. We might be able to do this without digging it out. Really? Thank you. All right. This is going to be a bit of a pain. Because the question is now is, are we going to be able to get that? Oh, see, I need a crouch. We might be able to do this the other way. Probably not. Maybe, oh, right there. Okay. Now the question is are we going to be able to get on any other end? And did I go too far or not? Oh, nope. Perfect. And I think we're going to have one piece of cable left over. And a junction. All right, there. That will tie the backup generator in very nicely. And then we just got to go upstairs and change that pipe. And don't burn wiring. There we go. Very nice. Yep. All right. So generator, transformer. We still got room if we want to expand more batteries down. Obviously, we've got some more expansion over here as well. Maybe one of these days we'll have a nuclear reactor through this wall. I don't see that happening anytime soon, but you never know. Then again, in this game, a nuclear reactor, we may want it not underneath the base. We might want it in a separate building off somewhere. Or better yet, buried underground, not underneath the base. Yeah, and I've still got 2 steel sheets left over. So, all right, let's tear open this wall. Again. And we might actually want to go as far as that. And we'll get this straightened out. Okay. And right. Let's go grab. So instead of tying in here, oop, there we go. Yeah, we're going to need, oh, and those are iron. Remember, we're going to put those in before we do the rest of the wall. So instead of tying in there, one day I'll get past that line. There we go. Okay, that should work. So instead of tying into this line here, we want to tie into the same line, which comes off of this, runs this way, ties in here. Back pressure regulator, this is the main filtration line, basically, which is hooked to the volume pump. It runs down through the wall this way. The furnace tees into it over here, and it runs outside. It's got some radiators on it, comes in over here. So we have an expansion tank, so if we dump like a ton from the furnace, it doesn't blow the lines, and then it can run through the ACs, and then out. The AC lines come out here, and this is a bypass line, so if we want to bypass the ACs, we can, since, you know, if radiators are broken. And this is the, this ties into the filtration. So it comes through this wall, and then basically in series goes through all the machines, and out to their tanks. So we don't want to tie into here. I want to change that into a corner, since obviously the back pressure regulator is not able to keep up. So we're going to want to tie into, honestly, any of this is fine. So we can tie in over here, we can tie in into any of this, and the volume pump will grab it from there. And pull it. So let's do something like, we'll come over this way because we want to come around that wiring. And then that should dump way faster. It'll still take a little bit, but it should be able to keep up. Not getting near as high as it has been. That way, if it runs for any extended amount of time, we're not going to run the risk of blowing stuff up. And you know what? I try not to run them this high, just for the simple fact that if I need to walk around in here like I am right now, I don't want to have to like start ripping pipes apart to get to other stuff. So we'll do that, which is because that line, the lowest we can run right now. Alternately, I would try to run it up there like that one is, which would be great, but we need to go down. So, which I still don't like, this being even this high. But since we can jump over it, then that's fine. It'll work. And am I going to be able to reach? Oh, let's say there should be. And hover. Hover would be nice. Yeah, I think I got that last piece out of there. And then, okay, we'll grab that frame. All right, so hopefully we're not going to have an issue with wiring being in the way. I think we're going to be able to avoid that. It looks like it. Why is that not? think I ran that corner the wrong way. Okay. So yeah, there. Uh-oh. Shoot. And I don't think it's gonna let me, no. It's one thing I hate about a lot of times when you run these on the edges, it will not let you pull them out. So we have to do that. Okay, we're gonna need to bin that before there because of that wiring. And no, come on, other way. Thank you. Let's do something like that. That'll get us over there. All right. Now by the time we get this buttoned up, hopefully that line will be empty. There we go. Yeah, hopefully that line will be empty and we can run a, okay, yeah, so see it's dropping, which I believe I've got that valve turned all the way up. All right, let's grab all these, should have been iron, oh, there it is. Oh, probably stuck in between again. Thank you. Iron sheets, frames, iron sheets. Oh, okay, it goes in the one we're standing in. All right, so let's get everything closed back up now. Yeah, I already have one. Yep, and I can show you that in a second here. I don't think we can get out that way. Iron sheets. All right, why do we have an extra iron sheet? Oh, okay, I see it. It's one over there. Okay. And that should be all steel. We'll close all that up separately. Oh, yes. And yeah, for some reason I keep thinking my stairs are moved. All right. Yeah, it should be this. Yeah, because we've got a partial. Right. 1, 2. Yeah. Okay. So we need one sheet there, 2 sheets there. Okay. And if we check this. Oh. So why is the. Oh, that corner. That's right. That corner turned the wrong way. We knew that. Okay. If I remember correctly, it needs to face like that. Yes. All right. And I think we can stand on top of this battery and reach it. All right. There we go. Now the system should start draining. Yes. So, yeah, you see how fast it's dropping now. So, yeah, we were at 4. like 4 MPa, and then it's immediately dumped into the system and is pulling right out. Still not, really fast, but it should. And of course, there's an autosave as soon as I kick it on. And I do think I need to turn my ratio back too, because it's obviously not getting a very clean burn. So it's increasing pressure slightly, but it shouldn't really ever run. It's not going to run long enough. It's going to overload it. Not if it's pulling off as well. It's not going up insanely fast like it was. So, all right, and let's just double check everything's buttoned up. Yes. Okay, so we should be good there. Yeah. Yep. Yes. All the intakes go into an area, and then everything gets filtered, cooled, sorted, and then stored. And we can go over that in 1 minute as soon as I get this all buttoned up. And, okay, we should be able to do that. Should be able to do that. Yep, and then this should just be our wall sections. So there, there, and there. Okay, so that's the backup generator all set and working and good to go. And it is automated and tied into the system so that if we drop below 40% power and the sun is down, it will automatically kick in and run until we're at 40%. So it'll just cycle on and off. And as you can see there, this is at 315. So anything that gets... okay, so that's the gas generator. All set, good to go. Oh, thanks. So right now, this is the main intake for if we purge the base. So if we turn this on, it's going to pull anything through. Obviously, there's no pressure, so it's not reading anything. And anything that gets dumped into here gets pulled into the system as well. And the greenhouse has a filtration system so that it will, anything that it filters out of the greenhouse, it'll return the CO2 into the greenhouse, or it'll dump the CO2 into the CO2 system, and anything else gets dumped into that intake system. So once everything, and on top of that, the furnace dumps into it as well through this pipe. Hang on a second, I got a cough. Okay, and anything that is pumped out from the furnace gets dumped into this pipe, which runs on the outside of the base. So all the collection systems over here in this furnace line, they tie in together, and basically that is our main intake for the whole entire base. They tie in behind this wall, it runs out, it's got radiators on it, it'll cool what it can before it comes into the system. This pump is what pulls everything from the filtration system in, so it doesn't let anything collect in the system. To equalize pressure, stay in the pipes, whatnot. So that way we can't overload them. This tank acts as a buffer, basically. Once everything is on this side of the system, if there's no, if we're putting in more than the ACs can handle, it'll store it in this tank until the ACs can pull it out. And I do plan on changing this system a little bit. I don't quite like how it's set up right now. But what it does is it'll pull through and it'll cool. If it can't cool all the way, so like say I run the furnace, one AC is not enough to cool the furnace. So right now this is outputting at 200 and, it's coming in at whatever temperature, which we can't really read. Um, and now it's actually ran it all through. There's nothing left. So see, this is 1,000 degrees. This is 680 degrees. This is nothing in it because the filters are pulling it before it can get to it. Unfortunately, radiators are broken, so the cooling's not working correctly. So right here, this is putting in at 200. This is outputting from the first one at 218 degrees, or it was. This should be cooler, but unfortunately, since the ACs are broken, it's not. Oh, actually, were we reading that line? No, 213. Yeah, so see, it's actually adding heat instead of cooling because the whole system's screwed up right now. If we need to bypass those and only run one, we could basically open up the valves. And this is a bypass line. So if we close, keep that closed valve. If we open this valve, then it's going to skip all these ACs. So it'll come through here instead of going into the next AC. So we can basically just shut those off, open this valve, and it'll pull through. So if the temperature wasn't, if it was only like 9-10 degrees, then we could cool it with just one. Usually when I run the furnace, you cool it with 2, and it works fine. And we have a 2 extra for buffers, basically. The system is automated so that if it detects anything over 6 kPa in here, it kicks on and runs. Otherwise, and I need to change that. I want it to be like, if it's anything over like 100 kPa, it'll pull down until it gets to 0 and then shuts off. But I haven't set a min-max yet. That way, it'll let it cycle, and it's not going to run these constantly. It'll kick on for a minute, run everything through the system, shut back off. Because we get some from when the greenhouse is running, we get a slow trickle of O2 all the time. So I would like this to, and basically what it would do is the system just clicks on, clicks off, clicks on, clicks off, clicks on, clicks off. So I want to set this so basically it can collect O2 from the greenhouse, collect it for a while, it'll run for 30 seconds, whatever, and then kick off. And then it'll collect for a while and then do that. So once it comes through the AC lines, then basically it's collecting, this is oxygen, and it runs out to our storage tank. What is this one? Volatiles. So it collects the volatiles, then runs out. So basically these just are in serial together, same as these are, basically. Is one runs into the next one. So that way your intake and then your waste goes into the next one. And then your output goes to wherever you're storing it. And then it just runs through. So then you got water, carbon, nitrogen, and then the pollution. And there is an extra vent that runs outside the base. But since we're filtering everything, it doesn't have anything to vent. I just went ahead and set it up because who knows, one day they may add another gas, and then, I come in and something explodes because it can't get rid of the pressure, So after it filters everything, then it comes over here, and these are behind the storage tanks, or these are the small storage tanks that are tied into those pipe systems. So it basically sets the oxygen over here, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, water, and then this is the pollution, which I don't have it labeled because it's the last one. So, and I do need to make a tweak on that. So, somebody pointed out in the last episode, because I'd always complained that there's only one input on these tanks. That basically, if you did like a T on them instead, we can put a pressure regulator and a back pressure regulator, and then that way it will collect everything into the tank, and we can basically pump everything into the tank with a back pressure regulator, and we can have the pressure regulator outputting. We have them set the same, so it'll basically let the rest of the system be at whatever we set it to, and then anything extra can go into. So if we wanted to keep it at like, you know, 50 MPa in the system, we can do that. And then anything over 50 MPa, it stores in the tanks. That way we don't have lines bursting because the tanks can hold a lot higher pressure, which we're going to have to address soon anyway, because from the greenhouse running before, we've gotten quite a bit of oxygen. So we are kind of getting, we've got another 20 MPa we can go. So we got a ways to go. But, it was going to become an issue eventually. Everything else we're pretty low on. So, but that will be another episode. And I'm thinking we might have to redo this room some. We might have to push it out, because if we're going to have to add those T's in, we're going to need room to do that. So what I might do is, unfortunately, there's a ton of piping behind this wall, so we can't do that. I was thinking about moving this door over this way. We can push all the tanks out one, and then basically push this wall out one. But we might just have to completely relay out the room. Yeah. So, it works. And the one change I'm thinking about making, because the ACs, even when they do work, they're very slow, and it bogs down the whole entire system. Now they do work. Okay, they're kind of touchy, so sometimes they work really good, sometimes they don't. I've had times where they've pulled through, really good pressure, and they worked fine. And I've had times where, like right now, where the radiators are broken, basically they kind of like trickle. So when they work great, it's usually pretty good, and this setup would work fine. I would maybe like to add some more logic in and maybe make these digital valves, so that we can monitor, like, if this is what the output is on this, what is the output on this, what is the output on this, based on like what the tank temperature is, because that's our input, or off this display. But that's going to be a massive circuit, because we're going to have to control each one of these individually, probably. Because my thought is that if the temperature is only a certain amount, we run one AC. If it's over, set, say, if whatever amount we know that one AC cannot handle for a temperature, then it runs two, and then whatever two can't handle, it runs three. I'd like to get that automated, so that way when we dump like the furnace in, it runs all four. Like it's clicking on right now. If it's only, say, dumping the base atmosphere in, and it's basically the base is at 20, then really it's only going to run one, or we actually just bypass it completely and not run the ACs. Or we just run to get, like, so if for some reason we're below 20, then we run one AC to heat it to 20. So like if we drop volatiles in, or nitrate oxides in, because those are basically at pretty much 0 degrees, or like 1 degree or whatever, then we're going to heat that up so we don't cool all everything in the storage. But basically the idea would be is everything would be stored at 20 degrees Celsius. That's kind of what I like to do, but my other thought is to just change the piping so that if it's water, oxygen, or volatiles, it does not cool those, because those don't come through the furnace or anything. That's either from oxides from the greenhouse, or from ice. So we shouldn't really ever have too much heat in there, unless for some reason like the base is up at like 80 degrees or something and we drain it. But the base AC conditioning should be able to maintain that at a pretty steady temperature. So the thought would be is that the intake would come in, run to the part of the filtration system. Once it got to this point, then it would run back to the ACs, come back out, run through these, and it's kind of how I set it up before. I had an AC machine here, but one was not enough to handle it. And then I decided, well, if I'm going to run all four, then I'll just filter everything because it should be able to handle it. Well, then the radiators broke. So, and then also we have a lot more power drain because of running multiple ACs at once. But if they fix the, so I kind of like this system. I just want to get more automation in here so that we're not running 4 ACs if we don't need to run 4 ACs. Though that now that we have the gas generator, unless we're using a ton of, volatiles or something, because, we're trying to keep up with our much increased power demands, then it's, then really it doesn't really, if we're using a lot more power, it's not really that big of an issue. But we are now at a little over an hour and a half. I think we'll call this good for this episode. I think next episode, we'll probably get this hooked up, since it's literally the only machine we have not hooked up and got running yet. Or I should say system. Which I'm gonna have to look into because I think there's an input down there. There's one there. So I'm assuming we need to run nitrogen in for the backpack, and oxygen in for the suit, or something similar. However the parts go in, because it's got a couple of lines coming into it, plus power. So obviously we're gonna charge the suit, and we're going to need to fill the jetpack, and I'm assuming that's what why there's 2 lines. One's for oxygen, one's for the jetpack. But I haven't messed with it yet, so I'll figure that out. But yeah, and then we'll get that tied up. Which, if we need nitrogen, we can come off of here. That'll be our closest line coming off, I believe, is. Nitrogen is coming off of, there, which is the only drawback to having this back here, if we do move the ACs or change out how the ACs is set up, is nitrogen does not get heated. So really we only need to do pollution and carbon. So we'll have to look into that. But we can pull off over there and come in, because otherwise we have to come all the way from the tank room. And maybe we'll just move the suit rack to over here. I mean, we've got a big section of wall, and then we can pull off of. Imagine we're probably going to want 100% oxygen because it's the suit, so we're not going to want nitrogen because the suit will see that as contaminants. But yeah, maybe we'll do that in the next episode. And I think after that, and maybe we'll do the logic chip too, because we've got to get this, we've got to get rid of these computers. And maybe then we'll start moving on tanks. And that logic setup, like I said, we've got three duplicate versions of it that we need to make. One for the furnace, one for the welder mixer right here for our fuel ratio for here, and then one for the oxygen nitrogen mix system. So we'll need to get a logic chip set up for each one of those, which is basically going to be the same. It's just a matter of adjusting the ratios to be whatever we need them to be. All right. So I might do one more stream, but if I do, it'll be probably 15-20 minutes from now. I have to decide. It's starting to get late, so I might call it good for tonight. But I need to top off my coffee, or not drink any more coffee, depending on what I'm going to do, and go stretch my legs. So I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Finally got the generator set up, and like I said, one last system, and we basically got everything hooked up. So pretty much after this, the rest of the streams will be focusing on automation. Oh, we still got to do chickens. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll figure out some point for those. But besides chickens, then everything else should be pretty much automation and circuits and logic chips and, tweaking any systems that we already have in place. And yep, so I may or may not see you guys in a few minutes, but I will definitely see you in the next stream. All right, have a good night.